That's a lot, huh?
There's a lot of dogs. Why get those dogs?
Alright. What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy here and Alyssa, and this is A&J's Q&A. We're going to answer some more questions for you guys. Some common dog questions. So let's get right into it.
First question comes from, I hope I'm saying this right, Sulamis. How do you deal with dogs who do submissive urination?
Sulami.
Sulami? Okay. How do you deal with dogs who do submissive urination?
Submissive urination is connected to too much body pressure all at once. Sometimes what you can do is, to avoid that, is go back to basics. So I would put my dog on a leash for a while as I'm approaching the dog. Go for the end of the leash as opposed to straight forward towards the dog. That's going to help with just getting the dog comfortable with you coming in towards the dog with a submissive peeing. Also, if it's submissive peeing because it's a little hyper, then you want to work on not saying hi to your dog when you first come into the door or into the room or what have you. Try and keep the dog calm as much as possible. Not speaking to the dog. Just kind of get the dog and go outside so it can do its own thing. Okay, so I would leash the dog, try that, and try becoming aware of how your body pressure is affecting your dog. So you can come in sideways, you can come in backwards, but that frontal pressure may be too much for your pup. Alright, that's good enough.
Alright, next one is from Bigs H Clunk. Any tips on introducing an older dog set in his ways to a much younger dog?
Yeah, you know, I would say it doesn't matter. We in production. It's alright. That's alright. I would say no matter what age it is, yes, it may be a little bit more of an obstacle because your dog's older, but I would say you have to have control of that dog and the other dog. So what I would do is maybe put the puppy on leash so that you can take the pressure of that puppy pressure off of the older dog when the older dog gets annoyed with the puppy, because that's probably what's going to happen. Holy smokes. Sorry about that. So normally puppies rush in and they just want to say hi, and sometimes they can get into trouble because they're just so rambunctious. So like I said, I would put a leash on the puppy and introduce slow, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, let him sniff for 2 or 3 seconds, back off and try it again. But it should be very supervised, and so that nothing goes wrong. Okay, and keep it short, keep it sweet, and take your time. And I think everything should be okay. Thanks for your question.
Next one is from Naomi. Tips or hints on how to get the barking to stop? Janco, which is the dog's name, will hear something and jump at the window and bark like crazy.
Okay. Yeah, what you can do is get a dog collar or a bark collar. That'll solve it pretty quickly. The bark collar that I recommend, I'll put a link in the description box below, but it's the Dogtra YS 800, I believe. They're all bark collar. You laughed at me?
No, I didn't even smile.
I thought you were laughing. All bark collars are not created equal, so definitely have to get the one that I recommend. But shout outs to Naomi and Janco. They were remember the that white pit bull and remember those apple pies?
Oh yeah.
That was from Naomi, so thanks for the apple pies.
All right, next one is from Victoria. How do we deal with separation anxiety and pulling on the leash?
Separation anxiety definitely is kind of attached to how you greet your dog when you come into the house from not seeing him. So anxiety comes from the dog wanting to be next to you or by you, and what you have to do is ignore that. Try repainting that picture for your dog that calmness gets the interaction as opposed to the party. Okay, so make it not a big deal that you've gone. What we do is when we walk in the house, our dogs usually are on the bed and they remain there until we're ready for them to come say hi to us. We do not say hi to dogs because a lot of dogs get in trouble with coming in the door and party happenings, whether it be aggressive or just dogs jumping and being super excited. Not every person likes dogs in their face when they first come into the door. You may have some family members that may be annoyed with that. So our approach is not saying hi to the dog and teaching the dog that if you go lie down, then you will get what you want, which is our attention. So repainting that picture. With walking, you have to get a prong collar for your dog. I will link a description. I will put a link in the description box below on the how to walk and the prong collar and how to use that. So definitely got to get those two, get that tool going, and the video will explain how to get your dog walking well. Okay, thanks for your question.
Next one is from DonandTammy. We have a dog that is 3 years old. He loves it when people and of course kids come over, but we cannot get him to stop jumping. He's a shitzu bichon mix.
Can't get him to stop jumping when people come over? Put him on leash. Definitely get control in that situation. Anytime there's a situation where your dog acts unruly, always go back to basics. Put the dog on leash and wait until the dog's calm to be let off leash, so that you can kind of take control of that situation instead of having your dog have all that freedom to dictate how he's going to act with whoever comes through the door. So always go back to basics. Maybe put him on leash until he's calm, then he can let off and interact with the people he wants to interact with. But always show control, more structure, introduce more structure in areas where they become unruly, like I said. Okay?
All right,
Rolling
next
through 'em.
one. Melanie. My pup likes to stop and smell the roses constantly. She's a nature watcher observer. I don't mind it when I have the time, but other times I just like to take her on a nice long walk without stopping 50 times. Is teaching a solid heel the only way to overcome this? If I just expose her to a ton of new walking places and kind of get it out of her system, will she mellow out a little more from seeing the world? I don't want to have to say leave it every time she goes to smell something. What is the best way to teach her the difference from a leisure walk versus a walk with purpose? We're working on heel and free, but it's a long process and a not so food or play motivated pup. Also, what are some good techniques to help a dog build their confidence up?
The way to build I'll answer this last one first. The way to build confidence is through our guidance. When you have a nervous dog, you know that the dog has had to handle situations on their own. That's what makes the dogs nervous, because they had no one to guide them. So our guidance creates confidence. The more they have to listen to us. I always tell people this. Less freedom for a dog, a nervous dog, equals more freedom. The more kind of apparent you are, the more you follow through with what you want. The more free they are, the freedom of stress, the freedom of anxiety, the freedom of nervousness. So through our guidance is the way you can build confidence. With the walk, I always tell people this: 90% of the walk should just be you guys healing. The other 10%, she can sniff and do her thing. The exposure is not going to help because dogs are always exposed to different smells. No matter how many times you go to the same mailbox, they'll want to smell it because other dogs will smell it and other new dogs will pee on it. So it's not about exposing more so than you gaining control. And so I will put a link in the description box on the how to walk properly to get that. You might need the prong collar for that. You don't have to say leave it every time if you're walking correctly with the prong collar. Okay, so what she has to realize though is that you are walking her, not the other way around. She doesn't dictate where you go, which way you go, any of that. If you do that, she will follow you. Okay, so you dictate where to go and which direction to go and how long to stay wherever. If you're walking the dog as opposed to the dog walking you, the dog starts to realize she's going to move and I gotta follow, period. Okay, great question though.
That's it.
That's a lot, huh?
What dogs want to get those dogs?